Hey guys, what's up? Just thought I'd check in with you guys a little bit, talk to you a little bit more about what's going on with me. I have had a lot happen. Of course, if you've seen my previous video, you saw that I was diagnosed with Ehlers-danlos syndrome. We are waiting for confirmation on what type it is. The doctor is pretty sure it's hypermobile type, which honestly will be the best just because hypermobile type is the least life threatening. So that'll be good. At least we can have that going for us. I know that sounds kind of weird. Oh, yeah, it's the least life threatening. But I mean, when it comes down to it, I was already told, yes, you have it. Like, let's make sure it's just not as serious. It's not like I can change it at this point. Yes, I am having issues kind of coping and accepting it. But I mean, that's life. I will figure it out as I go, how to do things differently and all that. I do start physical therapy this month to kind of help work on strengthening the joints so they don't dislocate as much. I talked to them. I told them I've had a couple, and it's nothing against them. But they're like, well, what joint is it? And I'm like, well, I have Ehlers-danlos syndrome. Well, at the time, one of them I had just hypermobile joint syndrome so far. I wasn't diagnosed with Ehlers-danlos. But anyways, I would tell them one of those two depending on when it was in my diagnosis frame. And so recently I've just been telling them, of course, Ehlers-danlos. And I was like, tell your therapist that if he doesn't know what it is, I just need to find another office. Like, it's nothing against you guys. It's just that's what I have to be seen for, you know? And if they know what it is, they'll understand why I need all my joints to be worked on. And when I talked to the office, they were like, okay, they'll probably just ask you to choose which one is causing you the most issues to start with, which I'm totally fine with. Like, my shoulders, they dislocate all the time, and my ankles, I've had issues here lately with dislocations too. And then, of course, that'll allow me to be able to be a little more active. I can't obviously go back to, like, running, because I used to at one point before everything went downhill and nobody could figure out what was going on. Like, me and my dad would run 3 miles. I mean, yeah, I felt like sometimes I was dying when I came back, but I could do it, you know what I mean? And now they're like, we really don't want you running unless it's like on an elliptical where it's got a lot of support and stuff for your joints. So that one went out the window. And yeah, so right now we are working on getting that set up. I've got my referral for the cardiologist put in, so we're just waiting for the insurance to be like, yeah, sure, go ahead, have fun. Because with Ehlers-danlos syndrome, if you just have hypermobile type, they like you to have an echocardiogram about every 3 to 5 years, just kind of like depending on your life, because I'm guessing, like, you know what I mean, for somebody obviously like me who's overweight, probably want to do it more 3 years, you know what I mean, if you're having blood pressure issues, more often. Anyway, so they take a look at that and then they just kind of go from there based on your other symptoms and your scan. Do we need to see you sooner than the 3 years, or what is going on, kind of a thing. I am hoping and praying that my heart is still okay and that we've caught all this in time for us to really take action, before it gets too bad. I'm hoping. I have already had an echocardiogram. I hope I'm saying that correctly. I don't know if I am or not, so I apologize. Like, don't hate me, or I guess just like, yeah, I don't care. Anyways, so, because like 4 or 5 years ago, I had my first panic attack, like really bad panic attack. And, well, my blood pressure shot up. I felt dizzy. My chest was like pressure, but not really, you know what I mean? Like, kind of like elephant feeling, I guess. So, yes, I have had one of those. So they're like, it's not a huge deal as long as they didn't see anything wrong then, and you're still young enough that basically most of this kind of stuff can be reversed. And also he was like, I can basically do anything I want as long as I'm in a swimming pool. Like, so yeah, Send me some money, guys, so I can have a swimming pool. I'm just kidding. They are a lot to keep up with and everything. Luckily, we have friends here who have offered me like the code to their house to go into their private pool. So that was super sweet of them. I am going to have to start taking advantage of that because I definitely need to, first off, work on getting fit, just period. Like, everybody's health gets better when you lose weight the correct way, and that has been my problem before, that I go into like I'm not going to eat when I'm like trying to lose weight. I'm not going to eat, or I'm going to eat and then like not eat for this long, or find a way to get another way to get rid of or counteract, So working on that, and also getting my mental health stuff around. I did finally find a doctor who will work with my meds and recommend counseling like within their office, I guess. That's my understanding. That's the way the front desk described it. Who knows what's actually going to happen when I'm in there, because that always seems to be like flipping a coin. You never know. Like, but anyways, so they're going to at least work on adjusting my psych meds, which is a lot of what I need right now, And I also will be seeing some type of pharmacist, but he does have his MD, if that makes sense. And he is going to help me figure out, like, what of these meds they just kind of, like, tossed me on, we're going to, like, try to lean back on, cut back a little bit and see, okay, well, this one was obviously helping. Let's try this one, because we're going to try to take me off as many medications as possible. I've already started that with pain management, cutting back, because they were giving me some pretty hard stuff. And since now we know, like, basically I'm just going to have to learn to live with it, It's kind of like, okay, well then I need that since this isn't ever going to get any better, if that makes sense. There's not really it's not like when you break your ankle and eventually it'll heal, So anyways, we're just kind of figuring that out, cutting back on that. I will see him. I have the psychologist who has counselors in there, and I'm hoping that between that and everything, we can all work together as a team and get my mental health under control. And then also the cardiologist, get my heart figured out, figure out what's going on, and see if I have some form of dysautonomia, because my blood pressure has like very adverse reactions, and my heart rate too. They're just like, they're not sure why, So we're going to work on getting that figured out as well. I did go to the gastroenterologist, and he did an endoscopy on me. It was like clear of like the cancer and the sores and scar tissue and all that. So that was awesome, because I have had acid reflux since I was born. Like, I was born with acid reflux, so it was a concern of mine. I was like, nobody's ever checked it. And then I went through a phase of binging and purging, and I was like, listen, who knows what I did to myself doing that, because it was bad. I know I screwed myself up. Like, so that we're not sure though, because I don't know what happened. He said he was gonna look for gastroparesis while he was in there. I'm just like not really sure what happened with that. So I'm gonna call his doctor's office and see if like I can have an over the phone consult if I don't have to go into the doctor's office. I don't really want to, because it wasn't one of the ones that's very close, But if I have to, it is what it is. I need to know what's going on as far as that. And then, but as far as like anything super serious that is something that we'll have to like do intense treatments or anything like that, we don't have any of that. We're going to continue just kind of like monitoring how bad the reflex is and everything. We pretty much had it under control at one point, and then every time we move, like, I can't get everybody on the same page hardly, and it's like hard to find the line of rude and advocating, you know what I mean? Because sometimes you just get so frustrated and you're like, oh, why are you not listening to me? So anyways, we are going to figure that out as well. I hope anyways, because this is a long road, but at least we're actually getting answers. And I really hope that no one else in my family has this. You know, a lot of my family has little symptoms here and there, but if you don't already, her name is Izzy. If you go onto my profile and look at who I'm subscribed to, it's Izzy, and it's something that starts with a K. I just don't know how to spell it or say it. Anyway, so definitely check her out. She goes in detail and explains like why and what exactly it is better than I can right now, because I'm not as educated with it. I haven't had my diagnosis as long as she has. Anyways, you guys, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.